Hello, denizens of the internet. This is my COVID hair. I'm finally getting it cut. Here I am, newly shorn, COVID hair free. My original intention actually was to keep my hair long until there were no more COVID cases in Canada, but that no longer seemed like a viable plan because Ontario actually was under 100 cases a day, and then most recently they hit 700 cases once they opened things up because people were insane. They, I guess, lost their minds and decided things like social events, weddings, bars, they couldn't keep themselves away from each other, and it's caused such a spike that in Ontario they're ratcheting things down again. And so what was the point? I think quite possibly I would have had my hair, well, growing for a good long time, because there's no end in sight for this amazing pandemic that we seem to now have to live with. That this is reality. We have to find a way to work within this framework. Now, on a television show that I saw yesterday, a medical expert, a real medical expert. There's just so many out there who are experts on this subject, it seems, but I think this person knew what they were talking about. They said that things really wouldn't become normal until they do develop a vaccine, which looks quite promising. So there's going to be the time that it's released, and then the time when certain people trust it enough to be able to be inoculated. Then they're going to have to wait 3 to 6 months before whatever that vaccine is supposed to do to that individual, to us, actually does the thing that it's supposed to do. I guess once they test people, I don't know how they're going to test them. Do they give them an injection of the serum or the vaccine, and then send them to some viper's pit filled with people with COVID, like a dorm or the White House or someplace like that, and then see whether they catch it, and maybe if they do catch it, how mild or how mild are the effects of that illness. So there's still there's a long way to go. It's not just a question of getting the vaccine, sort of testing it, and then inoculating a whole bunch of people. We have to wait after people are vaccinated to find out whether this all works. So we could be in for at least another 2 years of just not knowing. So this is going to be a very interesting time. I've given up my hair for COVID. I'm done with it. Primarily because we just came back from a van trip in our RV. Long hair in an RV is actually a pain because you're trying to use as little water as possible. And if you've got long hair, well, then you're using more shampoo, using more water, and it's just a pain. Plus, I think I look a lot more handsome. So I'd love to find out what your thoughts are, whether you think I looked better the way I was earlier with my dark brown hair, or the way I look now. So yes, I've given up my personal long hair. What do you call it? When you starve yourself for a specific political cause. My hunger strike. So that was my hair strike. That was my hair strike against COVID, and I've given up. It was just too much. And plus the fact that it was getting knotted, and what little hair I have on top anyway, I thought were being pulled out by birds. Birds were landing on my head and taking strands of my hair to build their nest, and I found that offensive. I didn't like that at all. One interesting thing, I was talking with the person who was cutting my hair, and I said that we started doing building websites in 1998, and he said, "Oh, that's when I was born." It'll be interesting to see what happens with our planet, our politics, our world, everything based on what this generation, the fully digital generation, are going to do with it. Think about it. Now, obviously, computers have been around for an awful long time. I had, through my dad, an Apple II. And I think that has affected me and everybody in my generation who were digitally interested and aware, although I do come from the boomer side of things, which is a pejorative term. And the biggest complaint that millennials have of boomers is that they are woefully ignorant of technology, which I'm not, proudly not. But then there's other boomers that I know that are proud about being ignorant about technology, which I've never really understood what the attraction is to be ignorant and proud of being ignorant about something. Anyways, I'm very interested. I should have asked him what he thinks his generation is going to do with social media, and because we are all caught up in social media. I am, but to a degree that I'm not very proud of. You get angry at stuff, and maybe the new generation doesn't really care about what people write and let it roll off their backs like water off a duck. And I think that's going to be very, very interesting, what the digital generation, maybe that's what handheld generation, that's what we should call them. No more Gen Zs or Gen Ys or whatever. I think we're running out of letters in the alphabet anyway. Just call them the handheld gen handheld, because I can't stand it anymore. I like doing these videos, but social media, I do it because a lot of you contact me over social media. Quite frankly, I'd be very happy to not be Twittering or Facebooking at all, because it's a cesspool of really toxic ideas, people throwing stuff out without any kind of evidence, people just like saying things without attribution. That's very frustrating. And then when you ask them for evidence, either they don't respond at all, or they come back with an answer that doesn't answer the question that you've actually asked. That's one of the interesting things on social media that I found, is that people do not like answering your specific question. What they love doing is grabbing some kind of link to a YouTube video or an article that almost has nothing to do with what it is that you've asked, but highlights how bad your attitude and the side that you are taking is. So yeah, my side is bad, I guess. And that person's opinion. Then you start arguing over that person's opinion and where they got the evidence for their opinion about the opinions that I have about my opinion. This won't stop me from doing my videos. I will be doing my tech videos, my Hackintosh videos, however long Hackintoshing will last. It's still going to be a good long time. So until next time, denizens, I hope you appreciate what I've done. My hair strike for COVID is over. Till next time, denizens, so long.